Hello and welcome to Aries season. So it's Aries season that comes every year, but I must say that this Aries season is going to be, I think, the most powerful Aries season we have seen in many, many, many years, a long, long time. Simply because when the sun moves into Aries this year, it's going to meet Neptune and Saturn and Chiron and Venus and the moon already sitting there. So there's already this powerhouse of Aries energy. And then, of course, the sun is our primary focus at any given time. So every month when the sun changes signs, that whatever sign of the zodiac it's turning into kind of becomes the lens through which we're going to view the world during that solar month. So we've already got all this intense Aries energy. And so when the sun joins it, it becomes the primary focus. So what this means is that the focus becomes very much about you. It's all about me energy. And so when we have all this energy to really focus on ourselves, we've got to be very careful how we use that energy rather than using it to be arrogant and self-serving and egotistical and the world's all mine and I can do what I want. We've got to look more at actually what parts of myself can I take this energy and develop further that are going to help me move forward, make me a better person, allow me to have more power within my own life and around me as well, but all for the highest good of all concerned. Now, the reason this Aries season again is so important is because we're at the start of a whole new cycle. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so, whenever the sun returns to Aries every year, it's like the beginning of the astrological year. So, we had the calendar year on the 1st of January, we had the Chinese New Year on, can't quite remember what a date that was, but it's the new moon between the mid January and mid February, whatever new moon occurs then. Um, so we've had a lot going on already with these sort of new beginnings and new starts and they've all been quite powerful. But for some people, it actually takes the sun to move into Aries in the astrological new year to start before things really start to get off the ground for them and take off. And so if you've been feeling up until now that this year is sort of a bit sort of flatlining for you, it may well be that once the sun moves into Aries that things start to pick up and you start to have that clarity, because that's one of the beautiful things about this Aries energy is that it gives us a lot more clarity. It's a very black and white, very clear energy. You can't hide things under the energy of Aries, and this is why so much stuff is being exposed at the moment all around the world, whether it's political or the Epstein files, all sorts of stuff going on. But it's all meant to come out at this time because we can't keep secrets anymore. Nothing can be swept under the carpet and not revealed under this influence. And so, in Mars, when Mars moves into Aries in the beginning of April, it's gonna, whatever's going on now is going to be turbocharged even more. But the Sun entering Aries is going to start that turbocharged movement, and then we're just going to keep going from there. So this is a whole new cycle for the world. The Aries. The Aries energy, first sign of the zodiac. Neptune, of course, as we've talked about before, it's been something like 150 years since he was last in Aries. It's been around 30 years since Saturn was last in Aries. Chiron, I'm not exactly sure how many years it's been since Chiron was in Aries, but a long time for that as well, because he takes 7 years to move through a sign of the zodiac. So it's been a long time since he's been there as well. But, it really is particularly this Aries energy, which is all about a new beginning. It's the great reset, the great awakening, whatever you want to call it. But it's like when things go back to zero, like if you imagine Aries is zero, it's the 0 point. And when we know in anything in life, when it goes back to zero, it's a new beginning. It's the start of something new. It doesn't go lower than zero. It only starts at zero's at the bottom and you can only go up from there. So what we've got is this massive new astrological cycle, not just the yearly cycle of Aries, but this massive cycle, and we're all being affected by it. And this is like the end of the empire. It's at the start of a whole new way that the world can now choose to exist or choose to work with. But of course, it's not going to happen overnight. Nothing ever happens overnight. It's going to take work from all of us. And that's why with this Aryan energy, what we have to be so careful of is we need to gain that clarity and know what is right and what is wrong and what's right for you and what's wrong for you. But we have to learn to work together. The energy, whatever's going on in the world at the moment, is not going to be overcome by one person standing up. That person needs to be supported. They need to have followers. They need lots of people around them. But one of the things that can come up with this big shift is new leaders being presented to the world, that it can come out of nowhere, very suddenly, very unexpectedly. Or they could have been working in the background as well. But I think because we're at the start of a whole new cycle, the new leaders and the new things that need to come in have to be different. We can't have people coming in who are just trumpeting, playing the same trumpet they played before or promoting the same things the way that we've done them before. The world is broken. All the systems are broken. Everything's broken. And it's collapsing before our eyes. And this is exactly what needs to happen. Is disruptive and chaotic and scary as it is scary, but we're going to be okay. We've got this. This is only the chaos that happens before, at the end of an empire, before something new starts. So we've just got to keep the faith, and that Aries energy gives us that absolute belief and that absolute energy to keep going. That is what is so important. Keep going. Observe what's going on, do not absorb it. Be aware of what's going on, and then focus on what you want to be going on, what your world wants to be. Because the Aries energy of Aries, it's a very individualistic, it's very independent energy, and it likes to be in charge, it likes to be the leader. And so you need to be the leader in your own life. You've got to stop following what other people tell you should do if it doesn't feel right for you. If it does feel right for you, then absolutely do it. But if you are already feeling that you're doing things and living a life and doing it and existing in a way that doesn't actually align with who your values or what you think of yourself or what you want, then you need to question that and use this Aries energy to put yourself and your own needs first. And again, this isn't being selfish, it's not being egotistical. Of course, it can be used in that way, but that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that we look to be the best versions of ourselves we can be. And that's that Aries energy. Start as you mean to continue. Start something. Start yourself being a better version of yourself, a higher version of yourself in some way, and see where that's going to take you. Because for so long as we hide in the shadows, we complain it on our keyboards, or send out messages on Instagram or whatever, it's not really doing what you need to do. You've got to find what you want, and you've got to find the people around you and work together. So this Aries energy, it's the start of this whole new cycle, and it's going to be a bit painful for some people, absolutely, but it is very, very important that we learn to put ourselves first in a way that values us and values what you have to offer, what you can bring to the table, and what you can bring to the people, to the groups, to everything, because it's only when we all come together that we're going to overcome all of this. And we're there, we're nearly there. So we just need to keep working on it. So this Aries energy, when the sun enters Aries, things are going to start getting really intense. I kind of have this feeling intuitively that the first half of this year is going to be very different to the second half of this year. And it's almost like whatever happens in these first 6 months is going to determine how things are going to go in the second 6 months. And so this is where we're at this stage at the moment of not quite knowing what's going to happen, but knowing that something's coming, and whatever's coming, it's designed to change the world, because the world needs to change, and we have to be able to acknowledge that, admit to that, and do what is the best thing to create heaven on earth. That's what we're here for. You've chosen to be born here at this time to play a role in this great reset, this big awakening. So don't stay in the background. Speak up, step up, do what you have to do to be the best version of yourself and lead others forward in some way. So I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.